Everyone dreams of seeing their favorite artist or band live. But somehow, that dream now costs as much as a vacation, our organs, or even migrating to an entirely different country. It wasn't always like this. I remember being a kid, a young celestial witnessing my first gig of an unknown human cover band at a live music venue my parents took me to after their workday. It was spontaneous, and it wasn't even a big deal. And it certainly didn't cost me more than $10. Back then, famous artists often started in small venues like a barn, and it felt like seeing them live was possible. As we grew older, our hopes and excitement for attending concerts hit us hard with the changing of the times. From casual and spontaneous nights out, these experiences have become stressful, high-stakes pursuits. Concerts are now built by a system to be exclusive, expensive, and unforgettable, making them feel different from what we used to know them by. Hello, I'm Ray. I'm a fallen celestial exiled to Earth, learning human culture, media, and its systems through video essays. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, like, and support. I also make art with ever-changing styles and play indie video games when I don't have any current media hyperfixations. Hopefully, I get to also talk about those in depth soon. Just a disclaimer that the thoughts, opinions, and experiences in this video are meant for discussion and reflection. They don't represent any artist, company, or organization. While I've referenced public studies, articles, and videos, it is not an official analysis of the music industry. Viewer discretion and independent research are highly encouraged. That childhood experience of mine was my first exposure to live music, and with my influences of Paramore, 21 Pilots, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, MCR, Taylor Swift, and Coldplay growing up, I too wanted to see my idols, and I could really only ever rely on the deepest depths of YouTube to somewhat experience a concert from my bedroom across the world. You know, concerts felt normal, something you could just go to. For teenagers in the West, it was a normal weekend shindig or after school or after work thing. In the East or Asia Pacific though, besides local gigs, live music events were uncommon, to rare opportunities we can't miss out on. Especially when it came to international acts, since they wouldn't always tour in those regions unless they were an act from the region. Though if we had to miss out on them, we'd enjoy an artist's visit through video clips and photos posted by concert goers. So, how do we know that concerts today are like this? That they're exclusive, expensive, and unforgettable? And what I'm saying is probably true. Well, you probably don't notice it, but it's happening within your own social circles and on social media. We just need to look a little bit more closely. Look around you. At one point, you're mindlessly tapping on the right edge of Instagram stories or scrolling through TikTok. Then you'll see a distant acquaintance from middle school or a college buddy, happily smiling in a photo before and after a concert. Sometimes it's the rough shaking as someone dances to an artist's song being played live. And this isn't always just an outlier for that one rich, distant acquaintance of yours. In 2024, YouGov surveyed across 4 European countries, showing how music tourism has emerged, wherein people traveling for the sake of live music events have become the norm over the past few years, just for the sake of seeing their favorite artists live. There's really no stopping this. There are even die-hard fans who, props to them honestly, they truly closely follow their favorites. And I desperately wish I could just hop on a plane and fly to the United Kingdom to see The Last Dinner Party live, since they're my current favorite at the moment. Like, please, I need to yearn to them. Anyway, 6.2 also published an article that interviews a few music fans who have followed the careers of their favorite musicians, such as a young woman who plans to see BTS during their world tour, despite recently seeing band members Suga and J-Hope on their solo tours. There's also a couple who flew to Singapore in 2025 for Lady Gaga's Mayhem Ball, and an emo punk fan traveling from Australia to the US for the recent When We Were Young festival. We don't only find this norm in the West. Music fans from the Eastern and Southeast Asian countries also find a way to see their favorite artists. Back in 2024, there was also a study conducted by Visa that revealed that in the past year, most people from countries such as India, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia had frequently attended concerts locally and overseas. with countries such as South Korea and Singapore being the top destinations for them. What all these examples show is that concerts aren't just events anymore. They've become highly coveted and seemingly once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and these people are willing to pay a shit-ton amount of money to go to them repeatedly if given the chance. And it isn't just traveling to international concerts. Casual followers of an artist who happens to have a concert in a particular country can be influenced too by social media, friends, or FOMO culture, making the experience feel essential. It really isn't about just seeing your favorite artist. Perhaps it's those otherworldly forces that make sure that the experience feels worth your every penny and dollar. Now that we know that concerts today are truly like this, we need to first understand why. Why does the music industry have expensive concerts in the first place? Obviously, what comes into mind is blaming the ticket sellers like Live Nation, Ticketmaster, etc. We all blame them if we can't get into their website, if the website crashes, if our cards don't punch through, if there are God knows how many scalpers and more. And not gonna lie, the blame game is valid. As of May 9, 2026, Live Nation and Ticketmaster are under massive scrutiny after a federal jury in the United States found that the companies operated as an illegal monopoly in the live entertainment industry.
When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. It's also revealed that Ticketmaster controls a huge percentage of the concert ticketing market, and the jury found out that the consumers, we're being overcharged per ticket because of anti-competitive practices, as they say. Since then, a recent video by CBC News, The National, they interviewed a Live Nation executive who defended Ticketmaster's pricing model. Basically, the executive defending Ticketmaster argues that Ticketmaster is often blamed when in reality, the base price of tickets is determined by artists, promoters, and market demand.
Well, it's funny. What the verdict says is that we have monopolized 20% of the primary ticketing market, not the whole thing. I don't call that a monopoly.
It's a monopoly because they have control over the combination of ticket selling, venues, artists, agents.
He argues that Ticketmaster is just a distribution system rather than the root cause of expensive concerts. Business Insider details this in their own video of why going to concerts is harder than ever. I don't want to entirely rehash what they said, but to keep things short, right now we can listen to almost any song ever made for the price of one monthly subscription like Spotify, YouTube Music, and Apple Music, or even for free. But if music is cheap, how do artists actually make money? Artists get paid only fractions of a cent per stream, and it's usually only the big top dog artists that can earn a big amount from streaming. 1 million streams on a song can seem like a lot, but for most artists, it doesn't really translate to sustainable income just like YouTube and Twitch content in terms of views. And since streaming music is cheaper with things like subscriptions, artists mainly have to make money from physicals like CDs, vinyls, and merch, which obviously not many people will buy them, especially in such a digital age and rising shipping costs. With that, tours, concerts, and pretty much live music events became the backbone of artists' income. Live performances became the thing we had to really pay for. But putting on a concert isn't cheap either. Organizing a show comes with a lot of costs and higher stakes. Your faves can't also perform everywhere all the time. Think about it. They really need to focus their time, energy, and money on shows that they know will succeed and, give them money. Factors like an artist's popularity in a country, venue logistics, production costs, ticketing platform fees, marketing and promotion, security, insurance, permits, and promoter operational costs all affect the planning, as a recent article from the National Independent Talent Organization reports. Because each show is also limited, fewer concerts mean more fans competing for tickets, which naturally pulls prices up. And I'd like to believe, at least, that our fave artists are doing what they can for their fans. And it's just that a lot of other things take a cut into a concert ticket price. But then, Once ticket prices go up, the industry can find more ways to earn money. VIP packages, early entries, sound checks, exclusive merch, and even meet and greets. What used to be such a simple ticket unfortunately comes in different levels now, each offering its own type of access to your favorite artists, such as mainly seat views. In the end, concerts become an experience designed also for scarcity, exclusivity, and value. Moving forward, if music is cheap, concerts have to be expensive. But that doesn't even explain why tickets sell out so fast within a short amount of time, or why it feels utterly impossible to even get inside a ticketing site. For that, we also have to look at ticketing platforms themselves and how they shape the way we concert goers behave. You've also noticed how concert announcements come within a month to a week gap of ticket selling dates, right? We've always been bamboozled by the nearness of ticket selling dates while we still haven't had a chance to save money. And later on, after release of those timelines of announcements and when ticket selling days come, we're only met with an announcement of sold out tickets, leaving 0 tickets for those who have just begun to save money for the concert. As Vogue magazine says, it's pretty much the Hunger Games. Gone are the days when we can wait until a day or two or even an evening of a concert and purchase a ticket right then and there. Everything is mainly online, wherein we hope and pray we get a low queue number and our internet connection is on our side just to snag a ticket or two, and even hope that our payment doesn't flag us as a bot. Ticketing platforms are designed to create that urgency and competition among fans. And what's sad about that is that mostly those with money can benefit. Those who are able to pay for, let's say, ticketing purchasing assistance, which is quite a notorious ticketing infrastructure, I'd say. It's supposedly a relatively small price to pay in exchange for convenience. And of course, those who can pay for high-speed internet are the ones who mainly benefit from this system. Consider as well how there are only a limited number of tickets released at a time. It's the people with the exclusive credit cards, the privilege to set aside time to queue for a concert, those who can sign up for artist newsletters, for pre-sales, for ticketing sites, who really have the higher chances of having these ticketing sites cooperate with them. Then there are the actual queue systems. A form of gamification is something I've also noticed and have experienced with concerts, like those waiting rooms you refresh endlessly or the queue numbers that count down as you move in the digital line. These platforms create a very thin line of tension that makes every fan feel like we're in a race once that line snaps. And as tickets sell faster, the more hype it builds online too, making more people want to buy in the next round. It's absolutely a riot. The pricing of tickets can even change with platform fees, somewhat fooling us concert goers in the already tough battle we're facing. On top of that, bots and resellers intensify snatching our tickets before most human fans can even get a chance. I think it's a carefully engineered system that makes us fans compete against each other while the platforms win in the end. Mix that all with the exclusivity we talked about earlier, and suddenly every concert ticket sale feels like a high-pressure game.
I was about to get you did it to me twice. What were you about? What you were about?
Should I let him both?
Should I let him bust?
I myself was left panicking and refreshing and scrambling to buy tickets for Olivia Rodrigo's Silver Star show when she last toured. The aftermath of the system, though, is that the system trains us. We learn how to treat every concert announcement as if it were a race. I too had to learn to open up different browsers on different devices to get more slots for a higher chance of a lower queue number. It's another factor to why concerts feel impossible to get into even before we consider things like prices. And since we started considering this system the norm, we can't expect it anytime soon to change. At this point, we understand how platforms control scarcity, urgency, and competition for concerts that make them expensive. But even with all of that, this system doesn't work unless people keep buying into it. And the thing is, it's we who keeps this system running whether we like it or not. With the help of social media, concerts have become a thing that we don't just attend for the sake of attending. Noise News sums it up as an experience for the memories that will last a lifetime. Like singing one's heart out or even just experiencing how gifted some artists are. They've become experiences that we document, share, and even use as a conversation starter with people we meet. Every time a user online posts a concert video, a fan cam, or fit check, it pushes this idea that being there matters. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely valid to want to capture these moments, live in them through outfits, and share them online. But at the same time, we should realize that it makes concerts feel more important, valuable, and harder to miss. I mean, who wouldn't want to witness their faves live, right? I've only experienced my first human concert just a few years ago, and since then, I've made it my goal to see my faves in some form with what money I can scrounge up. Despite this dwindling economy and the current circumstances the world is facing, because, well,
YOLO!
we want to go because we don't want to miss out. When we miss out on life's experiences like this, we're sitting at home and someone else is in the crowd singing your favorite song. Living that exact moment is something we all wish we were a part of. Like, we'd all want to be there, right? It's truly a different experience to be part of a concert audience in real time. The lights, the crowd, the set list, the outfits, the community, the energy. It's all right there in front and all around you, regardless of where you even sit in a venue. Knowing how it feels it's that important though, the price of concerts starts to feel easier for us to justify. Which leads us to continuing to buy into the system because we barely really have a choice. A $300 to $350 experience for a VIP seat for 21 pilots? Man, that would be my once-in-a-lifetime experience. That is if they tour where I live. $100 for Mitski, I'll just earn it back later on. $60 to see Leve again. Well, she's the first live concert I've seen since the pandemic. Concerts have become an investment in memories, a reward, something we deserve after everything we've been through. And it becomes especially more meaningful when an artist is the one who has been there with us during the good and the bad. I fear, however, that it's that point exactly that allows prices to keep going up. Because no matter how high they get, people will always still find a way to say yes. But can we do something about it? Changing the system will certainly be difficult, but what would even be the alternative? Cheaper tickets sound great in theory, but that would mean artists earning less, and God forbid we don't support creatives. It would also mean less high-level production shows happening and venues barely making any operational money back, leading to artists not visiting again. Obviously, we want our artists to express their shows in whatever creativity they want. Whether that's just a stripped-back acoustic set or a visual experience with a lot of cool gimmicks and effects. Plus, in a world where the music is already cheap to consume, live concerts have become that one place where value can still be felt and priced on a tangible scale. In line with possibly changing the system, I often look back to Olivia Rodrigo's Silver Star concert in 2024, wherein in some of her shows like the Philippines, her tickets were truly at a set price of around $25, which, not gonna lie, is insanely affordable for Filipinos for a major headliner concert. It was honestly a great way to give everyone an equal chance of getting a ticket to her concert, regardless of your privilege, accessibility to devices, pre-sales, etc. Experiencing the ticketing system for that and the concert firsthand, honestly, I was just happy to get a ticket and sing all of Olivia's hit songs with a huge crowd in the arena. Though I was a bit pissed off they didn't open the LED screens like Olivia was close to an amp. Like, what? I also recall Japan's lottery system wherein concert tickets are sold literally by a lottery and you can't pick your seat and you have to have like a Japanese phone number. This isn't true though for all Japanese concerts, I think, but it's really prevalent for them. Basically how it works is that there are ways of lotteries on different seat sections, and before even joining, you have to apply to join the lottery. I also won't dive into it, but Japan has its own thing. Still, we have a long way to go for every country and or artist to implement a system that makes concert tickets accessible, fair, and of course, a worthwhile experience for concert goers. Those systems I've mentioned are also imperfect in their own ways, and they aren't even a one-size-fits-all for every concert. For now, with the rising prices, tiers, and increased hype, concerts at present become something we, the majority, still have to plan for. Something we work toward, and something we treat as a milestone. Unfortunately, though, the expensiveness of concerts just continues to scale. Higher demands for artists and tickets justify higher prices. More so for rare ones who tour once in a blue moon and in less frequently visited countries, it makes the prices feel more exclusive, making more people want it, so the cycle keeps going and going and going. When you really look at it, concerts aren't only expensive because of ticketing platforms and their kickback fees. They're honestly shaped by the industry, ticketing platforms, and us. The music industry needed a way to make money in a world where music is now cheap per se. Might not be cheap for us with the whole subscription thing, but you get what I mean. For us fans, we gave those rare experiences meaning through our emotions, memories, and the value we place on being there. Put all of those things together and you get a limited, once-in-a-lifetime experience that people are willing to plan their lives and finances around. That's why tickets sell out in minutes, why prices keep going up, and why it feels impossible to get in, but even harder to miss out on. At this point, concerts aren't about the music anymore. They're now experiences, identities, and being able to say that I was there when it happened. So, are concerts really getting too expensive? Or are they becoming something we were never meant to casually afford in the first place? Let me know your thoughts, and I'd love to hear your own concert stories. The ones you saved up for, the ones you missed, the ones you're still thinking about, and even your ticketing experiences. Thanks for watching. Here's to the humans, their media, culture, and all the chaos in between.